Hello and welcome to this presentation. My name is Natalie. I am a fourth year political science major and I'm also minoring in innovation here at UF. Today I'm going to be talking about Mexico, which is the country that I've been doing case studies on all semester. This is the Mexican flag. The green represents hope and the fertility of the soil, and the white represents purity. The red represents the blood that was shed during the Mexican Revolution. So a quick history of the eagle on the flag. The legend says that when the Aztecs were searching for their promised land, they asked their god, Huitzilipochtli, for guidance. He told them that when they see a serpent devouring a snake on top of a cactus, that they should build their city in that very spot. And that is when they founded Tenochtitlan, which is what Mexico City is today. And just like any other country, Mexicans are very proud of their flag. Every single day, in the main center of Mexico City, called the Zócalo, the flag is ceremoniously lowered and raised every single morning and every single evening. So in this presentation, I'm going to discuss three main topics. First, I'm going to talk about the geography of Mexico, basically where it is in relation to the rest of Latin America, the types of terrain that make up the country, its natural resources, and natural hazards that occur frequently, especially earthquakes. Next, I'm going to discuss urbanization in Mexico. I will specifically be focusing on Mexico City since it is Mexico's capital. It's the largest city in Mexico, and it's the most populated city in the entire North America. Finally, I will be talking about a very prominent religious festival that is practiced in Mexico. I will be discussing Las Posadas, which take place in December, right before Christmas. For this final topic, I wanted to choose something fun and interesting to talk about since it has to do with Mexican history and culture. Mexico is located directly south of the United States. It borders Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California in the north. In the south, Mexico shares a border with Belize and Guatemala. The official name of Mexico is Los Estados Unidos Mexicanos, which translates to the United Mexican States. There are 32 states in Mexico. Mexico's terrain is very vast. You can find tropical rainforests and beaches there, as well as deserts and mountains. Mexico is actually one of the countries in the Ring of Fire, making it a prime location for volcanic eruptions. A few of the natural resources in Mexico include petroleum, silver, copper, gold, and timber. Agriculture is also really big in Mexico, especially for crops such as maize, beans, and vanilla. Maize is actually a very important agricultural product in Mexico because it is used to make one of the most versatile staple foods in Mexico, which is the tortilla. Mexico is very prone to earthquakes. One of the most infamous earthquakes in Mexico happened in September of 1985. Although the quake itself lasted about 3 minutes, it devastated most of Mexico City. 10,000 people were killed and there were over 30,000 injuries. Urbanization has climbed rapidly in the past decade. As of 2017, about 80% of the Mexican population lives in urban areas. About 1/4 of the Mexican population lives in Mexico City, the capital. The current population of Mexico City is about 13 million people. Urbanization is the cause for many environmental issues, unfortunately, especially pollution. Thankfully, the government has been working towards reversing those effects. Here is some footage of Mexico City. One of the things that was implemented to help with pollution has to do with the excessive amount of cars that are on the road every day. In 1989, the government passed the Hoy No Circula program, which translates to No Driving Today. The way it works is that each car is prohibited from operating 1 day a week. On the day that their car is not allowed to operate, people may use alternative forms of transportation, such as the metro or the bus. Another attempt to lessen pollution in the city is the Via Verde project. In 2017, almost 200,000 square feet of vertical gardens were installed on pillars all across the city. The landscape covers about 17 miles and is grown on a hydroponic system that will ensure it will last a long time. Overall, this project increases the production of oxygen and is also a way to beautify Mexico City. During Christmas, Mexicans prepare for the arrival of baby Jesus by participating in several traditional events. One of those is Las Posadas, which are celebrated during 9 days from December 16th to December 24th. Posadas originated in Spain, yet they have been celebrated in Mexico for over 400 years, since about 83% of the Mexican population is Roman Catholic. Posadas are widely celebrated in the United States as well, since immigration has brought millions of Mexicans into the US. Overall, the Posadas consist of two parts: the procession from house to house and the final celebration at the designated house that represents the inn that finally gave Mary and Joseph a manger to sleep in. During the processions, two of the participants are dressed as Mary and Joseph. They lead the procession and stop at each house, asking for shelter. Typically, the group sings a song and the homeowner will refuse them shelter. Despite this, drinks and refreshments are provided at every house. The process is repeated every night for 9 days, one house per day, until finally, the last designated location grants Mary and Joseph shelter, just like in the Bible story. At this house, everyone enters and enjoys a feast together. Children break a piñata that is filled with fruit and candy. Sometimes everyone will gather and read scriptures together. Some of the foods and drinks that are served during this time include tamales, atole, buñuelos, ponche, and pozole. I had a really great time learning about Mexico since it is my birthplace. I mostly grew up with a lot of Mexican traditions, especially the food. I never really took the chance to sit down and really learn about the country's rich history, its process towards urbanization, and governmental issues. I definitely look forward to the next time I visit. I've shared a few pictures of some of my favorite spots in Mexico. I hope you all enjoyed my presentation, and thank you so much for watching.